everyone. Welcome again to K Podcast. So, I don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone have heard about the billionaires that paid, is it $250,000 to go see the Titanic. And I'm gonna say this, it's been trending. I mean, there is no social media that you will not find this story, especially in TikTok. It's been like exploding in my timeline. Like every two videos that comes on my TikTok page, it's like crazy. Everyone is talking about it. Everybody is giving their own opinion. And I'm gonna say this, I got tired of it yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I don't even have the time for this because if you know what is happening in Greece, especially exactly the time this issue was going on. So we are all going to focus on the billionaires that paid $250,000 to go see a submarine, but forget about the people that were drowning in Greece. They came with the refugees that were coming to Greece. Okay, is there a price to life? Is there a price that you have to pay for people to care about you? That is one thing I don't understand. Do you have to be a billionaire for people to care about you? Does does your life have to be attached to some kind of money or something? Because that is one thing I do not understand. Nobody's talking about what happened on the seaside in the ocean here in Greece. Nobody's talking about it. But let's all talk about the billionaires and let's all have sympathy for the billionaires that signed up to get into a tin can that was controlled by is it PS3 player or PS2, whatever the gaming control that paid and signed up and got in there to go see, the Titanic. I don't know what is it with people with this Titanic. Why would you want to go and see? Is it like 100 years or how many years has been the Titanic been down there? It's been a long time, and especially I'm just gonna say, why not if you want to really go see the Titanic? Book, because this is another thing I'm thinking about. You are billionaires. You have money. You could just rent a submarine, an actual submarine, and go see the Titanic if that is what you really want to go do. Like when this story came out, there was a story that said one of them is actually married to one of the great granddaughters of one of the passengers that actually passed away from the Titanic. And I actually, hello sunflower, I actually saw a lot of people. I saw this guy that was making a comment on TikTok saying, "Oh, people don't have empathy." Dude, you're talking about people that signed up, paid $250,000 to go see the Titanic, and the way he was talking, he was like the audacity for me. I was like, so you have a voice about the billionaires. Are you gonna talk about the people that also had a tragic situation in the Greece shoreline? Nobody did anything. They were just waiting until their ship sank. So you want me to have sympathy for this person because of what? What did that person do for me? These are people that have a lot of money. There is a lot of world hunger. Nobody's caring about the poor. Many of these billionaires don't care about the poor. They really don't. And you're the one telling me about sympathy. Why? Why should I have sympathy? This is another thing I don't understand. What is it with billionaires and tubes? Elon Musk want to build a city in the sky. They want to build a tube, this tube, that. I mean, the obsession of billionaires with tube is crazy. I remember a guy from TikTok said, if you want to get money from a billionaire, talk about tube. Jeff Bezos want to build a sky tube thing for people to go and explore space in a tube. At this point, I don't understand the obsession with tubes. But that aside, let's put that aside. I'm just not, I have sympathy for people, and I'm not going to be forced to have sympathy for some. Yes, it was a tragedy. It was a tragedy what happened to them, but it's also a tragedy what happened to people that were trying to come into the European Union. They're trying to come into Europe. In Greece, can we have the same energy? A lot of people are more concerned in the other side. Yeah, they're obsessed with space. They're obsessed with building tubes. I mean, billionaires sometimes like you'll be sitting down, you hear, oh, they want to build a out of space city, and I'm like, in a tube, just call it, you want to build a tube city. It's all about tubes. The obsession with tubes is crazy. Now I'm gonna be bringing up some, I always bring up some other videos of people talking about particular this incident, and I want to let you guys hear what they said about if they are able to recover these people, if it is even gonna be possible to recover them, because although they have spent a lot of money trying to rescue these people, and one of the billionaires, maybe he's a millionaire, I think he's also a billionaire, um went there with his son. So let's say five people pay 250 grand each. That's a lot of money. Do you know about the debt, student debt, the loans? People that really have serious issues out here. We are not going to talk about that. See, they signed up for it. And somebody was writing one time, on the Twitter, she said, they signed up for the full experience, or they signed up for the experience of the Titanic, and they got the full experience. And I'm like, well, they kind of did pay to go see the Titanic. And one of them is even related to somebody that actually, was in the Titanic and passed away in the Titanic. What? Somebody said maybe it's family reunion. I can't with some people. But by the way, I'm just going to bring up this video so that you guys can see what they're talking about, the situation now, because a lot of people are saying, you know what, they're giving hope because they don't know where they are. They still can't find them. They can't find the submarine. A lot of people are saying maybe it's imploded. And a lot of people are saying probably it's inside the Titanic. Some people are saying maybe it's embedded under a rock or something, because they still can't find them. This is the thing that baffles me. There is no navigation. There is no GPS tracking system in this thing. And it's controlled by a PS5 controller, a gaming controller that you can buy for how much? $30 or something. I wouldn't enter that thing. And even one of the employers that was employed in there actually quit, because actually he didn't quit. He was fired because he complained about the safety. He said this thing is not safe enough for anybody to get inside. And they fired him. And now he's suing, by the way, he's suing the company. Let me just bring up this footage over here. Let me take this one out first. Let me put this one back. Put this back. I don't want it to stutter. Let me just bring this. Okay.
Our sub with the ping, with the sonar, there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. There's no way to bring it back to the surface. There's no way to let them escape. That the hatch, by the way, is sealed with 17 bolts from the outside. So there's no way to escape.
Like, literally look at that game controller over there. That is the thing that baffles me. Like, you're gonna pay $250 to get into a tin can that is controlled by this. Let's just say maybe they just get in and the battery dies. Let's just start with the battery of the controller. You're literally done there. And the fact that they have to bolt you guys in and you can't come out from the inside, somebody have to be there to actually open the door. Like, no, I'm gonna say this, I feel like some people have too much money that they don't know what to do with the money anymore. Normal happiness is not there anymore. They can't do anything that can be out of, give them excitement. So they might try something that is really risky. And this is the thing, I always hear people talking about billionaires are very intelligent, they are very brilliant, and giving them, like they are very intellectual. You can see now, not every billionaire thinks. We've seen a lot of signs. Let's not even call on Elon Musk in this. And Jeff Bezos over here talking about he wants to build a city in the sky. Tube, just call it a tube, a tin can. You want to put a tin can in space. The obsession with this tin can and tubes that billionaires have, I don't understand it. Let's continue.
When you're inside to get out without a crew on the outside letting you out.
You know people that are trapped on this thing?
Yes, unconfirmed reports that there are 3 people on there out of the 5 that one of them used to be one of my sub-pilots, and it's just a sad day for our industry.
I'm so sorry to hear that. The oxygen situation, is there any way to remedy that?
No, we carry O2 bottles with us in the submersible, and you also have CO2 scrubbers, and you know the O2 will last longer than your CO2 scrubbers, and if those CO2 scrubbers go, and depending on what actually happened at depth, just not feeling good about it.
What could possibly have happened?
Worst situation is, something happened to the hull, and our fear is that, it imploded at around 3,200 meters.
And is there
So this and another thing is they did not do the safety check for this tin can that they got in. They did not. They call it a submarine. A lot of people say that thing was not. That thing is not a submarine. They did not check. They did not do any investigating, nothing like that to check for safety and all of that. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing was done for the safety. I'm just thinking about me taking out 250K, $250,000 to go into something I look at, see is controlled by a PS5 and be like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. No, nobody with critical thinking, many people wouldn't do it. A lot of us wouldn't do it. We'll look at that thinking and be like, I got families. I got people that will miss me. I'm not doing that. That is in fact, just seeing the controller alone, you'll be like, nope. No way I'm getting in there. And do you know how deep the Titanic is? It's very deep. And the ocean is vast. Even at one point, some people said, okay, what if they are in somewhere else? Maybe they are floating, but there is nobody to open the door then. That's another disaster. And there is no tracking system, so nobody actually knows where they are.
anything that the U.S. Navy can do right now?
No. I mean, I don't see anything that can happen at this point. I mean, I'm trying to be, somewhat cautious and, don't want to basically be the naysayer of what's going on. But when you're talking 6,000 pounds per square inch, it is a dangerous environment. More people have been to outer space than to this depth of the ocean. And when you're diving in these situations, you have to cross your T's, dot your I's. You have to do everything absolutely perfect and by the book. And throwing a bunch of tourists in a new sub that was just created over the last several years, it's not looking good, Jesse.
I couldn't help noticing how many pieces of this sub seemed improvised. We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on! There's only a few possibilities. So this thing has 7 different ways to return to the surface, different ways of releasing ballast or inflating air balloons or using the propellers. So there's backups of backups of backups. So if it is not at the surface, then only one of 2 things could have happened. Either it snagged on something, like a big fishing net or even part of the Titanic, or there was a leak, in which case it would implode instantly and it's over. So if you want to look optimistically at it, they lost power, but they have...
Oh, I already said that. I said the battery on that controller probably, the power died, the battery died, with the Game Boy controller, the PS5. I said you could just get it there and the battery is done. And then what? And now he's talking about the battery. I'm like, who's surprised? Who is surprised?
3 more days of air and they're bobbing on the surface somewhere and we just can't find them because they don't have power.
Yeah, I found it interesting that the Coast Guard there basically said this is a 2-pronged search. 1, potentially 2.5 miles beneath the sea, or 2, maybe somewhere at the top. And this area is so remote, it's possible.
But one problem with what the Coast Guard said was there's only 3 operating subs in the world that can go to that depth. Okay, so...
Yeah, girl, they are arrogant. That is the thing. They are very arrogant. They don't care about the little people. Let's be sincere. They really don't care about the little people. They don't. They don't. And they are obsessed with their tin cans and their tubes that they want to build in space, under the sea. I don't know. And this is the thing. While everybody, a lot of people have mixed feelings. I'm gonna say this. If you go to Twitter, a lot of people have mixed feelings about this. A lot of people are like, well, there are poor people out here that need money. All these millionaires and billionaires do not care. Do not care. Let me say that again. They do not care. There are people that urgently need money, but there are people that have a lot of money, so much money that, they run out of things to make them happy. They run out of ways to make happiness for themselves. And they don't care about people that are actually in need, because it is what it is. Let's be sincere, because if it was a regular person that did this, a lot of people would be calling it dumb. A lot of people will be calling it lack of, self-preservation, lack of intelligence, lack of any, sense of calculating or doing anything, thinking about your life. A lot of people will call it, lack of intelligence, that the person does not have critical thinking. They will say lack of critical thinking. If it was a regular person that did this, you would hear all the lack of intelligence, lack of this that people would talk about. But since it's billionaire, oh my God, yeah, you can see too. They not every billionaire is intelligent. Obviously, not all of them are intelligent. Obviously. So we're gonna go to this other video over here that this girl was talking about. Which one of them is related to the lady from the Titanic? The lady, the Macy's family. Yeah, and I'm wondering, and his wife is the great grandparents of her. I think great grandparents or something. So, and I'm like, you didn't tell him not to go there. That is a graveyard. The Titanic is a graveyard. You don't upset them spirits. Them spirits, the problem. If there are spirits down there, they're probably upset. They're like, leave us to rest in peace. Leave us alone. Let me bring up this video over here. Bring this one first.
Y'all, it has. The pilot of the submarine, Stockholm Rush, which is, I believe you're this dude or this dude right here. His wife, Wendy, is a descendant of 2 first-class passengers who died on the original Titanic. What in the Final Destination is this? What's crazier is that the movie Titanic made a fictionalized version of the couple for the movie. Are you serious? What in the angel of death? So your wife's ancestors passed on the actual Titanic, and you thought it would just be so cool just to go down there to the resting place. I want to know what the wife thought of it, because, oh my God, y'all just pissed off them spirits, dear Lord.
I mean, yeah, sun and sunflower. I do have that because I do value life too. This is the thing. I do value life. Yes, we are all split, because at the same time there is this feeling in you that you still have the empathy, and you feel sorry for the family, and you feel bad for what has happened to them. But at the same time, when you think about what is happening, and like my feelings are literally split in half. I'm not gonna lie, because at one point I'm like, I feel sorry because this is their life. And at the same time, I'm like looking at the vast, what is happening in the whole world, how people are suffering, how people need help. And people that have money are so selfish and self-centered that they won't help any other person but themselves. So now I'm like, you know what? And the fact, this is the thing. I don't understand why they are not talking about what had happened in Greece, the ship that sank. I don't know why that is not also one of the top topics in TikTok and other social media. That is why the split in me is like going more in the one side, because I'm like, people care about these people that really don't care about you more than other people's, life. I think life should be valued equally. That's what I think. If you like other people to live, you also have to give that same, feel the same way equally towards everybody else. Everybody else should be given a chance. And those that can help should help. Now I'm gonna bring this other video up here. Hold on a minute. Let me bring out the other one.
And I had no idea. Wendy Rush is the wife of Stockton Rush, who is the CEO of Ocean Gate and the one that was piloting the sub before it disappeared. And Wendy Rush is the great-great-granddaughter of Isidore and Ida Strauss. And these two were the wealthiest people aboard the Titanic. Want to know how he was so wealthy? He was the co-owner of the one and only Macy's department store. Now, their story ended very tragically. Survivors of the Titanic recall seeing Isidore refusing a seat on the lifeboat because there were women and children that still needed to get on. And Ida, his wife of 4 decades, refused to get on without her husband. And the two were seen standing arm in arm on the Titanic's deck when it was sinking. Remember this scene from the Titanic? Well, apparently it was a fictionalized version of the Strauss' story. The old couple embracing one another in bed as the water was rising, refusing to leave. 2 weeks after the Titanic sank, Isidore's body was found, but Ida's remains were never recovered. Now, the article goes on to say that Wendy married Stockton back in 1986 and that her LinkedIn page says she participated in 3 Ocean Gate expeditions to the Titanic wreckage in the last 2 years. She serves as the company's communications director, and she is a longtime board member of the company's charitable foundation. I honestly didn't understand why Stockton would want to make several dives to the Titanic, but now making this connection, it makes more sense.
I mean, the thing is, I'm still baffled with that tin can that they built and call it a submarine. Because I'm like, okay, if you're that interested in going to the Titanic and doing some, exploring the Titanic, well, I don't have a problem with that, but at least build a safer equipment. Make sure that it's checked. And make sure it's not controlled by let me see if I can find an actual submarine here that people use in diving, because there was a girl that was also, she's like somebody that dives with these submarines that they go for, for touring the sea. And if you look at that submarine, it looks absolutely nothing like this tin can over here. It looks absolutely nothing like the tin can that they went in to go look at the Titanic. It looked nothing like that. Okay, so we're gonna bring up this last video before I go. I'm just gonna bring up this last one before I go. I want you guys to let me know what you think and give me your opinion. Should one life be valued more than the other? I feel like everybody should be having empathy for everybody, not only for one side. We are not gonna be doing the one-sided thing. Okay.
People missing in a shipwreck off the coast of Greece right now, and we are all talking about a couple of billionaires in a tin can. We are spending millions of dollars of taxpayer money to try to find this needle in a haystack. Meanwhile, we know where this ship went down. A proper rescue operation was not conducted, and now the Greek government is not even letting the survivors talk to journalists. And I can already see the comments like, oh, it's US money being spent on US citizens, but like, how much is a life worth? Because I think that's something we need to decide. Why do these people get tens of millions of dollars in rescue operations, but someone who needs like $20,000 for cancer therapy, yeah, we just leave him to die? It just makes me so fucking sad that it's all about attention, which, like, I'm a content creator, I get that, but people's lives should not depend on going viral.
Well, I mean, he said it, and there are a lot of people that have this emotion, because this is the thing. Although our emotions is split, we all have these mixed emotions about this particular, topic. We always come to the end of, shouldn't we care about everyone? Because I think we should all have the same sympathy for everyone. But another thing, the thing that always takes me back is I look at these billionaires and these trillionaires, by the way, because they are not only billionaires, they are trillionaires, people that have more than billions, they have trillions. And I sit down sometimes and I think, do these people not have empathy or sympathy or any kind of emotion, especially when it comes to people that actually need actual help? Do they really not care? Because with what's been happening recently, nowadays, people literally, not having money to take care of themselves, needing help. I sit down sometimes and I look at the rich and I'm like, don't you guys have any kind of human emotion to, like, try a little bit, just a little bit, just go out there, at least try. With all the money that you guys have, the world would be a better place if you all would just contribute something for the rest of the people that are actually in need. But of course not. They're just going to be selfish and keep the money for themselves. And when something happens to them, all of us are supposed to gather around and cry. Like, see, I'm not going to cry any tears. Yes, I feel bad. Yes, my emotions are mixed. But no, I am not going to sit down and cry and whine about it. They paid 250 quid to get into that tin can for the experience. Well, they got a full experience. And I feel sorry for my condolence to their family. I even had last time, even Cardi B made a video talking about one of their stepsons being in the pub drinking. And even right now, I had seen another video of people talking about he's hitting on girls in the DM, in their DM, hitting girls on the DM. The guy doesn't even care. He's probably just standing over there waiting for a share of the property. They're going to cash out. Let me just say this. Their families are going to cash out. The insurance money, they're going to cash out big time. And while the rest of us are out here having sympathy, and some people want to cry about it and tell other people that they don't have sympathy for people that have money, their family are going to cash out, and still the world is not going to change. People that are going to be suffering are still going to be suffering. We're still going to be here. And they're still going to have their money. And they're still going to not care. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. Thank you all for being here. Let me know about your own opinion in the comment section. Please don't forget to press that like button and subscribe. And I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.